Ever since I've switched to Schaeffer's oil, I've never had a reason to even try anything else. And that's one thing that I'm proud about, is the fact that I can't tell you how good something else is, because I know how good Schaeffer's oil is. My engine builders, Tony and Glenn Clements, have said about the oil we run. They've told us that out of all the motors that they get and rebuild every year, ours looks the best, and a lot of that has to do with the oil that we run. One of the things that I love about Schaeffer's oil is the fact that all of their reps are out in the field and at the racetracks with us, seeing what all the racers need, seeing what ideas we have or anything that we can improve on. And you just can't beat the customer service of having a rep for, you know, one of the main components of our race team, whether it's at our engine oil, transmission fluid, rear end oil. Having somebody there that represents that brand and also gives us support and also the knowledge that we need to be making the right calls and just helping us out with our entire racing program. It means a lot to our race team to have that. My name's Chris Ferguson, and I drive the number 22 dirt late model. I've been using Schaeffer's oil racing products since 2009. I absolutely have no doubt that we're using the best products that is possible for dirt late model racing.
For generations, fans of IndyCar could only dream of stepping into the cockpit and feeling the rush of going wheel to wheel at over 200 miles per hour. Thanks to the latest in sim racing technology, we can get one step closer. Talented, fearless drivers battle it out in virtual race cars to claim supremacy at some of the world's most demanding tracks. This is the RIL, Schaeffer's IndyCar Series, presented by Racers.
Hello and welcome back. I am Gary Gotzo, and welcome to Racers coverage of round one of the Revolution Indy League's Schaeffer's IndyCar Series Summer 2022 season, coming to you from Kentucky Speedway for the Bluegrass 200, presented by Heinekamp Financial. Joining me for expert analysis in the booth all season long, he is a weekend editor at Jalopnik.com and co-host of the Motorsport 101 podcast. Please welcome Ryan Eric King. So Ryan, last season's championship was tighter than ever. With a new season, of course, excitement's high. You know, as the Cubs say, spring runs eternal. You know, everything's so exciting. But so is the risk, as we have more cars on track tonight than they ever did in real life at this racetrack. How important will it be just to make it through the first half of this race, never mind finishing it?
That turn one is going to be treacherous here. And, you know, to bring things back to baseball, spring's that special time of year. Everyone is listed on the standings at 0 wins and 0 losses. Well, in the Schaeffer's IndyCar League standings, tonight everyone's on 0 points. So every car you finish ahead, that's every car you'll be ahead of on the standings.
As I meant to say, tried to say earlier, hope springs eternal, as everyone is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed going into the first race of the season. So we have a absolutely huge session here that in fact, it's so big they have separated it into splits, so we are not seeing all the cars on the racetrack at the moment. There are 39 cars that have taken time. There are 44 people who have registered for the session. Only 33 are going to qualify for this race. So once again, a large turnout for the opening race of the RIL and its Schaeffer's IndyCar Series. Take a look here. I want to remind everyone kind of the what happened last year and give you an idea that if this is the first time you're watching this, you're really, really in for the treat. 3 drivers went into the final race of the season last year, all with a chance to win the championship. And really, none of those 3 drivers did anything wrong in the final race. Everybody had to do what they had to do in order to win the championship, and it just happened. The math worked out, and Caleb Bency is now your 3-time RIL champion in the 4 seasons that we've had competition here in the RIL. The other champion is Dakota the Maid, which we will see here later tonight. But Caleb Bency beat Gavin Sanders and Nate Seifert by the slimmest of margins. I mean, we haven't really seen, even in real IndyCar racing, there's probably been at least 2 or 3 occasions where 3 drivers went into the final race, but you really don't see that very often, especially in sim racing. But that is kind of what we're going to expect to see this season, and all 3 of those drivers are returning. And really, and if you were listening to some of the races from last year, some of the interviews, I think Nate Seifert kind of just basically narrowed it down to one mistake where he made one race where he made one mistake, and that gave him a 40-second penalty, and it cost him like 5 or 6 spots in the standings, and that ultimately probably what doomed his campaign last year. So that's how tight the championship was last year.
Yeah, and when it comes to, season-long championships, I always look back, obviously, to real life, and probably the greatest driver in IndyCar at the moment over the course of an entire season, Scott Dixon, and many of his season-long performances, the days that he wins the championships are on his worst days. If you can make sure that you can pick up points, as many points as possible each round, you can ensure that you're in the best position come that final day if you're head-to-head with someone.
Now, what race was that? He wrecked at the front at the first race, or the first lap, Portland, and you thought, and it was like it was still a race to go in the championship, or 2 races to go in the championship, and he wrecks in the first turn at Portland, and you're like, man, his championship's done. And then at the end of that race, I think he finished in the top 5, and then he goes on to the next, to the final race of the season, ends up winning the championship again. So basically, it's just sticking with it. But one little mistake can cost you, but sticking with it definitely shows your championship medal. Right now, we're not seeing a lot of action going right now, because we are, at least where I'm viewing the action right now, is one of the other splits. I think we have about 4 or 5 drivers in that, but I can bring up our current. And we'll get the last season standings off the page here, so you can get an idea of really what happened last season. Get an idea of kind of what the speeds are we're dealing with here. There you go. Matthew Short, the road guy, the road king, self-proclaimed road king. 2:17.861 here at the mile-and-a-half Kentucky Oval. Now, this is a little bit different than what the IndyCars really did run on. They flattened turns 3 and 4 just a little bit, kind of an opposite of what Texas did. Didn't really make the racing line much wider, just really kind of made the banking a little bit less flatter. Still has that 24 degrees of banking in turns 1 and 2 here. So you'll see those cars really barrel into turns 1 and 2, kind of nose to tail, a bit of a pack race, and then it'll be kind of a scramble when they get to 3 and 4, as each driver kind of finds the best way for clean air. But Matt Short is on the pole, or not on the pole, but fastest in practice right now, 2:17.861. Dan Miglin, 2:17.421. We got Tommy Cook in his first time here in the RIL. With a 2:17.394. Shane Coogan, got to watch this guy. He's good on every oval you put him on. 2:17.086. There's Nate Seifert, finished on the podium for the championship last season, 2:17.033. There's Gavin Sanders, 2:16.685, and then the defending champion. So, God, the guys are right next to each other one more time here, even in practice. There were other notables there. Dakota the Maid there, 9th, 2:16.235. Looking on down, Matt Houston, 2:15.5. Let's see, Jasper, 2:15.5. White 2:16 flat. So we got about 4 minutes 50 seconds left in practice before we start going qualifying. Right now, watching Christopher Hill. He's also one of the road aces here in the league, but he's getting much better on the ovals. He is currently with a 25.135, which is a if I can find him there, it's a 24.356. Which is a 2:15.824 lap, so not too bad. But again, everyone very tightly bunched together. You're probably going to see the top between the top about 15 or so separated probably by no more than a tenth of a second.
Yeah, and especially when the racing's close here at Kentucky. Well, turns 1 and 2, fairly simple, like you mentioned before. You could go flat out on fresh tires, side by side isn't an issue. 3 and 4, on the other hand, tends to be only one line that really works, and on 4, you really push towards the wall, especially on worn tires.
Yeah, and there's I mean, you're busy in the car all the time on a single lap here. I mean, you'll see a lot of drivers when they get to 3 and 4, even shifting to keep the revs up.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing I do here, where you want to downshift, keep the revs up, because you know you need to accelerate out the corner, because that's the only real acceleration zone on the track. It's from there all the way till you come back around to 3.
Make sure, if you haven't done so already to like today's broadcast. Also, share and subscribe and click the bell for weekly reminders of future RIL broadcasts. We're pretty much every week until about the fall, start of the fall. We're about 3 weeks on, 1 week off. 3 weeks on, 1 week off. Out of everything that I prepared for tonight, I probably should have the season schedule for the RIL as a graphic, and I don't. So maybe we can develop one of those here real quick. But currently watching back to Christopher Hill as he's trying to improve on his 18th best speed of 24.356, or as you see on the chart there on the ticker. Lap of 2:15.824. We'll see more action occur here in the next 2 minutes or so when the qualifying takes over. Again, top 33 will make the field. Everyone else will be bumped out and sent home. It's like the old days of USAC where we actually had bumping.
Yeah, you got to make the race no matter what round it is.
Let's see if I can find the schedule here. We got a little time that I can pull that minor miracle off here. Just kind of letting the racing on the practice speak for itself. About 1:10 left here in practice. Wanted to get on the air a little bit earlier just to talk about the last year's results, of course, and check out some of these newer liveries that a lot of these drivers are going to have. Of course, since we're separated into splits for practice, you're not going to see everybody until really the start of this race. All right, I think we can do this. All right, and now let's bring this up here. And does this work? Let's see. Schedule. Oh, there it is, folks. There is the schedule. So we are kicking off tonight and then next week, and then moving on to basically we're going to do 4 on and 1 off. That's kind of how it's going to look. We're getting ready to go qualifying here, folks, so we'll watch those speeds here as they begin to develop. Yeah, this week is Kentucky. Next week is Alabama. The week after that is going to be a very interesting IndyCar race at Rockingham. Your thoughts on that?
It's like, I'm pretty sure neither CART, USAC, or the IRL ever went to the Rock.
No, actually, in 1980, it was on the schedule for, I believe, because there was a split then at the time, and I believe it was a USAC schedule that they were on the schedule for, and they ended up not going there. And I was trying to currently watching on the racetrack here, Lucas Santos, as he's qualifying. I was trying to ask one of the kind of the other historians in the group here. I read a Reddit post. And interesting enough, Reddit is kind of where this league got its start. But I read a Reddit post that someone said Gordon Johncock went and tested there in February of '79, I think he said it was the post, and said that it really wasn't that bad for an IndyCar. I could believe that back in '79, '80, and '81 with those particular cars. These cars, it's going to be a handful with these cars, but those cars from the late 70s and early 80s, yeah, I could picture them on the Rock.
Yeah, it is the current cars with these speeds. It is going to be interesting, to say the least.
So let's go ahead and get the schedule off there. Get you back onto on-track action, and bring up the overlay here. Get an idea what we got for provisional speeds. Where you see Shane Coogan right there. There's Isidro starting one of his runs. So we got about 2 minutes 30 seconds left in provisional qualifying. Caleb Benzie on the pole, 2:16.118. Track record at Kentucky Speedway, if it interests anybody, is held by Sarah Fisher, set in 2002, speed of 221.930. Of course, that was in a slightly different configuration, as we said before. Career wins leaders here for IndyCar at Kentucky are held by a couple of IndyCar and Indy 500 champions. Buddy Lazier and Sam Hornish each have 2 wins here. So that's kind of sums up IndyCar's history. We have not raced here since 2011. That last race was, I believe, Ed Carpenter's first win, a very exciting win there, as he edged out Dario Franchitti with the last of his when they ran push to pass on the ovals.
Yep.
Currently, right now, we're looking at Caleb Benzie, Justin Miller, Christopher Hill, Drew White, Shane Coogan, Joshua Tucker, Matt Houston, the boss man, Dan Miglin, Gavin Sanders, and Christopher Kresge as your top 10 with about a minute and a half, just less than a minute and a half to go. There's Nicholas Johnston, one of our championship contenders last season. Tommy Cook making his first start in the RIL. In a green car. May God be with him. Oh, Lewis Woodall.
But it's looking real tight up top. We got half a tenth separating the top 6.
Right now, the cutoff is Aaron Moss. He is qualified 33rd with a 24.4, which we do not see on our tree at the moment. It should cycle through. We should see that here momentarily. But with 35 seconds, Moss is on the bubble at 33rd. Hayden Robinette is currently showed first car out. Derek Smith also out. Lewis Woodall out. Frank, I'm sure it's Junior. I don't remember the last name there. Sorry, Frank. Also showing out. Connor Nixon out. Matthew Short, after having such a fast speed there in practice, out. Michael Heinekamp, the namesake for the sponsorship, also showing out. Kyle Grusich, DL Lemon, my man DL Lemon is out. Angelo Expo also out. Peter Donchek also showing out. So Desidro and Bajent is not offered to qualify yet, and that is it. Qualifying is done as we are getting ready to. What are we doing here? Not sure what we're doing here.
Not sure either, though. That group of Robinette, Smith, and Woodall, definitely a heartbreak row, missing out on the cut by 0.02 of a second.
Not sure what we are doing here. Folks, I really have no clue. We got the pace car out and nobody on. I don't know if we're supposed to be having a well, pace car's gonna win. Yeah, not sure what's going on here. And I don't even think I can show the starting lineup because I think it's thinking this is some type of heat race.
Yeah, it looks like it based on the UI. I assume the pace car is just going to cycle around for a couple laps and we'll move on.
Interesting. Yeah, bunch of new rules kind of got thrown into the mix here with the latest iRacing upgrade. One of which is a start zone, which we're not going to recognize here. And we are green flag on the track. I believe when the pace car pulls off, the race will be in control of the leader of the pace of the pole sitter, and then kind of what they really need is they need to have a more traditional IndyCar style start, and we will hopefully see that someday. I've been told by someone in the know that they are supposedly working on a separate now IndyCar rule set. I will believe it when I see it, but the person that has told me this has normally been pretty good with information, so we'll go with it.
Yeah, because it'll be especially useful across the entire service, because the rate that these cars accelerate, the speeds they reach, and because they run with open wheels, starts and restarts are the most dangerous parts of IndyCar racing, and they have their rule set for a reason.
Yeah. Oh, we are waiting for things to happen. I don't know if I'm going to get messaged in Discord saying, hey, we're I don't see anything quite yet, so okay. Now we're going to maybe some type of practice.
Oh, a 1 minute long warm up? We got a bunch of cars coming out of pit lane.
Okay, all right. So I've been told that This is just kicking out now the people that did not qualify. So let's look into this. Well, we got some time here, but hey Ryan, no, I got a quick question for you. Would it surprise you that half of everyone watching tonight right now have not subscribed to this channel?
Honestly, posting my own videos on YouTube, I'm not surprised.
According to YouTube analytics, 50.9% of you are not subscribers. Let's change that right now. Help us on our drive of 1 to 1,000 subscribers. If you enjoy Race First coverage of the RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar series and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. We have less than 200 subscribers to go to get to the magical 1,000 mark, so help us by hitting that subscribe button right now. We can't get there without you, and while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on future Race First iRacing broadcasts. Now let's get into it in Kentucky and tonight's starting lineup. We can bring that up here. Caleb Benzie on the pole with 24.3. Justin Miller right next to him with 24.348. Razor close. Christopher Hill, P3. Drew White, P4. Shane Coogan, P5. And Joshua Tucker, P6. Matt Houston, the boss man, P7. Dan Miglin, P8. Gavin Sanders, P9. Christopher Kresge, P10. Bruno Miranda in that Yukos Hollinger eSports entry, P11. James Watson there in the Team Watson juggernaut, P12. Nicholas Isidro, 13th. Will Weisberg III. That is right. World War III is back. P14. Keegan Scott, 15th. Nicholas Johnson, be watching him from 16th. Dan Neese, be watching him from 17th. Christian Jasper, also be watching him climbing from 18th. Jonathan Liebertor, 19th. J.J. Wang, 20th. Hayden Herman, 21st. Logan Spath, 22nd. Dakota DeMaid, deep hole for Dakota, P23. Lucas Santos, 24th. Nate Seifert, talking about a deep hole. He's back there in 25th. Ryan Freeman, 26th. Hunter Ingrave, 27th. Tommy Cook, 28th. Matt Webb, 29th. And Matt Cosgrove in 30th. Rounding out the field here, Christopher Albee with the favorite livery of mine, the IndyCar livery, IndyCar Racing 1 livery, 31st. Dan Morera, 32nd, as he sneaks his way in. And Aaron Moss, like I said, on the bubble at 33rd. And that is your 33-car lineup.
Oh, I'm at the edge of my seat waiting for this certain one.
And we got to get that subscriber graphic off the screen there. There we go. And we're right to the starter, getting ready to go green. And you know what? Caleb wastes 0 time. We are green flag here at Kentucky.
Oh, our field of cars winding their way through 1 and 2.
So far, everyone cleanly through 1 and 2. Now, here's the tricky part. Well, everyone cleanly through 3 and 4, it looks like. Caleb with a new livery, the championship reigning champion, reigning defending champion. And that new purple livery, I like it. Justin Miller right there on the 6th, taking a look to the outside. Not the fastest way around, but he's going to be right there next to him down the backstretch. See who's going to come out on top of here when we go out of into turns 3 and 4. Right behind them, Christopher Hill and Drew White. Everyone seems to be behaving themselves so far, farther back in the pack.
Yeah, very clean racing so far. Measured moves.
Still side by side up front. Here comes Drew White on the outside of Christopher Hill.
Well, we got someone taking the Larson lineup by the wall.
That would be Drew White there in the Jeff Gordon livery. He likes these type of races, and where there is clean air, he will go look for it. Into the tri-oval area here at Kentucky. Caleb still holding the lead. Justin Miller first. Christopher Hill and third. Drew White currently. Drew White now in third. Christopher Hill fourth. Shane Coogan in the fifth spot. Hey, and showing Joshua Tucker moved up to 10th already. So we got some comers and goers here at the moment. Biggest gainer right here is Nicholas Johnson. There, he's up 5 spots. Bruno Miranda, the Yukos eSports, he is currently in 9th, up 2. Here's Gavin Sanders in that race first car. 2 cars side by side going through turns 1 and 2. Believe that is Matt Houston and Dan Miglin.
This 3-car second group. White, Hill, and Coogan are making me a bit nervous.
You know, each one of these guys, I would have 0 problems racing around, and I don't have an especially in that group. I would trust racing around each one of those guys implicitly. In fact, there's very few. I don't think there's anybody in the top 10 at least that I wouldn't go wheel to wheel with and feel any issue with.
Yeah, they're some of the best people I've raced with on iRacing. Though when you see them really like tango at these speeds on the banking.
Christopher Hill was intent on getting his lows in there underneath Coogan. Coogan's like, nope. The turn 1 speed cam. Check this out. Woo. Turn 2 speed cam. Turn 2 exit. Shaking the camera. Cars on the wall in the backstretch. That is Christopher Albee and Matt Webb. So this is probably going to bring out a caution. Not yet. No, maybe not.
They're still racing hard up front.
Maybe not. Will Weisbrod has made his way through that, but they are still racing up front. Got a car on the wall on the front stretch. I think that is Will Weisbrod.
Weisbrod in the wall.
Yeah, and he is punched out, so he is no caution there. We are still green. Hearing cars hitting pit road at the moment. Back up front, and Justin Miller is your new leader. He just kind of wore out Caleb a little bit. I don't know if Caleb decided just to let him go or what.
Maybe started thinking about fuel consumption.
Yeah, well, I asked Alex Van de Sant, who is many wins here in the RIL, and of course we know him from other series. When do you start thinking about fuel conservation in an IndyCar race? And he's pretty much right off the start. Here comes Drew White up to the front, and Drew White is our new leader. So yeah, I imagine these guys are probably thinking fuel conservation right off the bat. About 50 laps to get to a tank of gas in here. But if you want to, it's right now, if you do the math, it's like 2.6 stops to get to the end. So you might see a couple guys do 3 stops right about 38, 39, 40 laps, somewhere in there. Maximum, again, is right around 50, and if they do go the full 50, then they'll probably be pitting in that final stint with about 30 or so to go.
Yeah, because if I were in this race, I would definitely want to be pitting with 30 to go. While it might seem very prudent to do a full tank the last stop, if you could short fill that last stop, make it as short as possible, that could get you precious yards out on track.
Well, I'm not talking about precious yards. How are the tires here? You've raced here a number of times. Is there an over? Is there an under?
Ooh, I'm not quite sure about that. In the day, 100%. At night, where tire wear is a bit more generous, I'm not so sure.
Still battling up front, side by side. And now we got lap traffic that might play a role here.
Yep, it's definitely going to make things a bit more difficult than you'd assume for the leader.
Not sure what happened to Christian Jasper, but he is back here. He's already a lap down, so he's trying to stay at least that close to the field. The rules here in the RIL a little bit different than standard IndyCar racing. The rules do allow for the rave around, but there also is the lucky dog that's involved. So he's going to pull right up in front of Jasper there. So what will happen is if there's any wave arounds, those guys would get the wave around, then they'll be brought up to the leader, and then the next car behind the leader, if he's a lap down, he or she's a lap down, they'd be given the wave around. So that's how the rules are here in the RIL. And thankfully, no green-white checkers. No, no double file restarts.
Yep, these three leaders, Miller, White, and Bensey, they really can't pull away or break free of the other two.
Yeah, Christopher Hill is just kind of sitting there watching this thing. Once again, if you're just joining us, you are watching Race versus Coverage, round one of the RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar Series, coming to you from Kentucky Speedway, where Justin Miller currently leads after 21 laps. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next RIL race. A little bit further back in the field, we got a battle brewing right here for ninth spot. Here comes, and I don't know how hard he's going to push the issue because, again, no teams here in the RIL, but there are people working with each other, and that is Gavin Sanders and the boss man Matt Houston. But Nicholas Isidro, who is up 3 spots, has the inside spot here, inside groove. Through 1 and 2, which is the faster way. The high side in 1 and 2 is not as useful as it is in 3 and 4.
Yeah, but Isidro's definitely got a very distinctive livery, that the Texaco Newman Haas, the Texaco Alvaline Newman Haas.
Yep, I don't think that livery ever raced at Indianapolis. I have to go back and look, but I'm not sure. I don't think it did.
Yes, if I recall, it was a post-split livery.
Yeah, it was one of the. And then after it went to Andretti, it was driven by Fittipaldi and D'Amata for a while, Christian Fittipaldi. Yep. So I'm not sure if that ever made a Indianapolis debut. If that would be a good idea if they ever did some throwback liveries for the 500 sometime. That someone pull that one out. That would make an interesting addition to the grid.
An interesting statement.
Yeah. Isidro is now clear of Gavin Sanders. He has now made his way into the top 10. Here is your biggest
in the grass.
Logan Spath sideways on the track, getting underway again, not under caution.
Oh, now we are.
Now we're under caution, and interesting enough, if this was the Indy fixed race, this is right where the window opens up to go to the distance, because it's 75 laps at those races, and the window just opened for everybody. So everybody be hitting pit road, but I'm sure in this case also everyone will be hitting pit road for sure. As we kind of wind down this first stint, a pretty. I would say a pretty aggressive first stint by a lot of people. There's kind of trying to get as many positions as possible and throwing a lot of punches out there.
So, an interesting note over the chat from Race Control, a statement was just made saying that so far this race in the Surfer, auto yellows were not on, and this pass caution was manually thrown. That explains a decent amount of what took place.
Well, first race hiccups, we've had them here with our overlays. They're having them there on the racetrack with the rule set. But hey, it's the nature of the first race. We haven't been doing this for the last couple of weeks. See a number of cars damaged on pit road as they're trying to get some repairs. But everybody is hitting their stall right now. We'll see who comes out in front here.
Yeah, only car not to pit, Dan Neese.
Dan Neese, okay. Interesting. And also, looks like Justin Miller beat out Caleb Bency for the second position. So, interesting enough, Dan Neese is... but I think he is going to get a wave around. So he's not inheriting anything. He's just going to try to get that wave around and hope for another caution eventually to help his campaign to get back in the lead pack right here. Not sure what happened to him, but currently showing 2 laps down, but with the wave around, he will get 1 lap. Of course, he cannot pit, but he still has a half a stint to go, really. So patience might be a virtue here.
Yep, certainly. Especially with a lucky jog in this league, you're never really out of it.
So I think he will get the wave around, and I think Christian Jasper might get the lucky dog. We'll keep an eye on that. That'll bring Christian Jasper up to the lead lap.
I should note that Jasper's coming down pit lane right now.
Okay. Well, let's do a reset here while we're under caution at 29 laps of 133. Drew White is your leader. Justin Miller, P2. Caleb Bency, the defending champion, is P3. Christopher Hill, P4. Nicholas Johnson, I just put the camera on him as you said that there was some issues on the racetrack. He is up 11 spots to P5. Shane Coogan right behind him in P6. Dan Maglin been hanging out in the top 10 all day, P7. Bruno Miranda right there in that Yukos eSports Hollinger Racing green and black and white Delar there. He's worked his way up into the top 10. He's in 8th. Matt Houston. And we'll give it up for Matt. He is the Division 2 champion for the Indy Fix Series. He is P9 currently at the moment. Right behind him, Nicholas Isidro. We watched some of those guys battle a couple laps ago. Isidro is now P10. Gavin Sanders, P11. Nate Seifert has worked his way up to 12th. Joshua Tucker, 13th. Lucas Santos, 14th, and Dakota DeMade, he's also up 8 spots. He's worked his way up to 15th. Lucas Santos up 10, Nate Seifert up 13. Seifert is the biggest gainer on the racetrack, but not by himself. Dan Morera right there. Dan Morera is also up 13 spots as well, as he's in that 4D Racewear livery running for Jim Herrick's team. And we're getting ready to go green here. Looks like hopefully pretty shortly. Still a number of cars still running. I think we got James Watson still showing in the pits, but I don't know if he's under repair or what. Will Ricebrud is also the same thing. Dan Neese, he got that wave around, of course. He is now joining the end of the field. So 26 cars currently running on the racetrack. Ryan Freeman, Hunter Ingrave, Keegan Scott are shown out. Watson and Weisbrod still entered into the race, but with extended pit stops, they're shown in 30 and 31st. Matt Webb and Christopher Albee. Fortunately, our man with our favorite IndyCar livery is P33 of the day. So a quick end to the start of his season. But thankfully, It is a long season. So we're getting ready to go green. Everyone assumes that spot up against the wall to prevent passing on the right side, and we're getting ready to go green. Field's now under command of Drew White. Pace car is in the pits. Drew White is on the gas, and we are back racing. Johnson taking a look at the outside of Christopher Hill. Thinks again against it. Tucks back in, gets the draft. Starts working his way down the backstretch.
Okay. So calm so far. just assume it'll be a couple laps before everyone bunches back up again.
Sidro looking to the inside, Matt Houston. Sidro has made that bottom side really work for him, at least the couple of times we've caught him racing folks. And of course, if you make it to the bottom side into 1 and 2, that is definitely going to help you complete your pass. And he is cleared, but Matt Houston swapped sides with him, looking down low, going into 3 and 4.
Yeah, because certainly in certain conditions, you really have to work the car if you want to make the ideal line, so to speak, work in 3 and 4.
Yeah, Matt Houston has the ideal position this time through 1 and 2. Gavin Sanders is going to follow him right on through. And Matt Houston gets the position back. So it's a game of chess. Where you place your car for 3 and 4 is entirely different for 1 and 2 if you want that faster line. Here's a Sidro again, working it down low down in 3 and 4. One of the few cars that can really, really work down that low. I gotta wonder though. I mean, is that a result of fresh tires at this point, or maybe he just has the magic of the weight jacker set in?
Oh, well, you never want to lean too heavy on the weight jacker. No, I have to do a quick shout out in the chat. We got Junkos Hollinger Racing in the chat saying hi to us. They're here rooting for their guy, Bruno Miranda.
And there he is. He's looking for a pass right now on Dan Miglin, and just about clears him. Side by side down the backstretch, going into 3. Of course, they had the Ferrucci racing for them this weekend at Detroit. I don't know how that guy does it. Just stick him in an IndyCar, finishes in the top 10 of the 500.
Yeah, he's sort of one of the guys who you put into pretty much anything and can wheel the car around. How long he'll stay in that car? That's a different question, but when he gets the opportunity, he definitely likes to impress.
Again, we're looking at that group of the top 5. They're just kind of all sticking together, trying to find clean air side by side right now. Defending champion Caleb Vincey right there with Christopher Hill. And sneaking into the picture, Nicholas Johnston, who finished in the top 5 of last year's points. Talking with him in a couple of interviews, he's like, just a couple of situations here and there, and that finish could have been different for him. And so he's fully aware of how tight the competition is here in the Schaeffer's IndyCar Series.
Yeah, and early doors, it's looking like we're going to get a competitive finish here tonight. We got a number of cars who really, when they get into position near the front, they could show that they have the ability to win this race.
Speaking of Schaeffer's, let's pay some bills, do a little side-by-side here. Schaeffer's Oil. We'll be right back.
There's 2 types of drivers out there. Drivers who know how to protect their investment, and drivers who don't. Car owners who know how to get more miles per gallon, and owners who don't. We're talking people who know their Schaeffer, and people who don't. Which one are you? From cars to trucks to diesel workhorses, whatever you drive, there's a Schaeffer synthetic oil for you. Do you know your Schaeffer? Ask for it at an automotive retailer near you.
we're back. I want to thank Schaeffer's once again. Man, they have been great, great sponsors for us over the last couple of seasons. And, of course, I got to drive the Schaeffer-sponsored Dallara at 2 races last year in part of that season. With a doubleheader at Las Vegas where I got a chance to bring it home top 15. And then we had probably the highlight race of the year, if you want to go back and watch it. 75 laps, caution-free at iRacing Super Speedway. And yours truly got a chance to lead about 10 laps in that one. Fortunately, I did not get the caution I was looking for my fuel mileage, and I had to pit early before everyone else, and I ended up losing out that way. But again, I finished, I think, top 15 finish there too. So 2 top 15 finishes for me in the Schaeffer's car. Got him some lead time on the broadcast. Love racing for Schaeffer's. Drew White, well, he's loving Kentucky right now because he has made no secret that he wants to remain up at the front. Right on his 6 on the outside there is Justin Miller. Can't force him up too much into the wall. There's a car there. Justin's maintaining the wheelbase, trying to maybe pinch Drew White a little bit lower down there. Not through 3 and 4, not with that much distance between them.
No, the longer they stay side by side, the more of a chance it gives to the cars behind them, and the cars behind are definitely closing in.
Well, check out this battle right here for 7th. Coogan, Miranda, Seifert, Miglin, Sanders, right here, everybody all together. It's just a massive beehive of cars just trying to pick their way through turns 3 and 4. All eyes on Nicholas Johnson, though, as he is now looking to the underside of Christopher Hill. And now, Nicholas Johnson moving up into the top 4. Ooh, slide job! 3 wide going into the quarters. Cindro sticking the nose down there low. Don't do that.
Hang on to her.
Oh, don't do that. Sometimes those runs look so tempting, and you just got to really realize, as we bring up our ticker right now, kind of tell you how much we got left in this race. Lap 48's a little early to go 3 wide at any portion of this racetrack, really.
Yeah, especially 3 and 4, because when you have that little banking, you have to have faith on the guy on your inside. You got to know that he's going to be able to keep the car held.
Currently watching the battle between Bruno Miranda and Nate Seifert at the moment. 2 green cars. Of course, you know how superstitious I am about the green cars. Now, I was told by Matt pre-race that JJ never heard, JJ Wang, where is JJ? There he is, 16th right there. We'll get a camera on him. JJ does not know the superstition about the green car. Whoa, JJ. And he's back there with Dakota. You know the green car superstition, right?
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay, so by all means, explain the green car superstition to JJ here.
Oh, man. I don't know. I've heard variations on the story. Though, from what I've heard it from a slightly European perspective, that it traces its history back to Jim Clark's first time at the Speedway.
Okay.
And how he obviously won Rookie of the Year that year, compared to some other years where some other drivers should not have won a Rookie of the Year. But
a little bit more current.
There's a lot of debate on whether he should have won the 500 entirely, and whether he was misscored across the line. And obviously during that period of time, while not in North America, internationally they still had international racing colors, and the Lotuses being from Britain, their national racing color was green.
British racing green, right?
Yes. That's where I heard the story about the superstition behind green cars and Speedway.
So I heard that it was as a result of Gaston Chevrolet getting killed. And, of course, he's a former Indy 500 winner. Of course, the name Chevrolet, he is, yes, one of the founders of that conglomerate now. That he died in a green car, and it kind of started there, and other drivers kind of picked it up. Now, what it was explained to me is that British Racing Green got a pass. And I don't know. I can tell you that on JJ's car, that is not British Racing Green. So that is not exempt. However, it should be pointed out, JJ is up to P14 with the purple lap of 24.408. So he is really not hurting. Let's take a look at that best lap right now. That's a 215.3. He's the only car really in the 215s for the most part. One other car that I could see in the 215s, and that's Moss back in 20th. But JJ is currently holding the purple lap in the green car.
Oh, moments like this in the race where it looks like things are calming down, to me, freak me out the most, because it's where people are starting to get a little bit antsy. They might try to make moves work that in normal circumstances they wouldn't.
Well, here's one that's having a bit of an issue. Dan Miglin has fallen back. He's now out of the top 10, fighting for 12th between himself and Dakota the Maid, as well as JJ Wang, who is looking very low on the racetrack. They're now thinking about taking a 3 wide. Nope, 2 wide going into 2 underneath Miglin. Miglin's just going to have to hold on there. But yeah, this is the point where we've gone further than we did on the first stint in terms of green flags laps. So let's take a look at the front. Justin Miller is still just trading the lead there with Drew White. Nicholas Johnson now up to P3, 13 spots gained. Nate Seifert, 17 spots gained, as he is now the green cars racing side by side here.
Tempting fate.
In fact, I think one of the articles I read about green cars was actually on Jalopnik. I have to go back and look it up.
It has definitely been talked about on Jalopnik.
And look like Schaeffer gets a position on Miranda. That moves him up to 8th. Gavin Sanders now in 7th. Nick Isidro in 6th. Christopher Hill now P5. We are now 32 laps into this current stint. 33 laps for most of these guys. So we got about another 20 or so to go less than 20 or so to go, before we start looking at pit stops. Not sure who is on the bottom there. That's Jonathan Libertor. Looks like he made an early pit stop. Maybe planned, I'm not sure. And he is now back in 24th. Miglin and Santos now battling out. And Dan's just struggling right now. I think what good of his tires he has been spent.
Yeah.
Unless he's doing some massive fuel conserve that we don't know about.
I think it's just holding out. Just make sure that you try to stay on your current lap.
Ooh, you could hear him on that pass by the camera. He had to roll out of it big time. It pushed up into the turn 4 exit. But yeah, maybe he's working on some fuel conservation. All you have to do is stay on the lead lap. Justin Miller starting to put some space between himself and Drew White. Now has it out to a 0.7 of a second lead, largest lead of the day.
Yeah, it's like earlier this race, I was talking about how you can separate the top 3. Now Miller gets a gap going. Whether he could properly break the toe or not, we'll know in a couple laps.
2.5 is the envelope to these cars. Tonight's race coverage is brought to you by Heinekamp Financial Planning and Tax Service. Heinekamp is a family-run, Indiana-based business that offers a full range of financial planning and tax services, including investment planning, tax preparation, retirement planning, insurance planning, and estate planning. Additionally, they offer a full slate of small business services as well. For more information, visit HeinekampFinancial.com or click on their link in the broadcast description below. course, once again, we do want to thank Schaeffer's Revolution IndyCar League's IndyCar Series sponsorship, brought to you by Schaeffer's Oil. We want to thank them again for their support. Racing is in their blood. It's what they love. At Schaeffer, their racing products help racing teams spend less resources on replacing parts and changing fluids and more time out on the track. And who doesn't love that? Designed for extreme performance, Schaeffer Racing Lubricants reduce friction, wear, and heat. Season after season, racers depend on Schaeffer's racing products to keep their cars always ready for the next race. Check out SchaefferOil.com, where you can search for the nearest retailer today, or click on their link in the broadcast description below. We're about the halfway point for these boys, as now I'm really saying that these guys are just kind of riding out. These tires are pretty well spent.
Yes, we're at that point where you're thinking about how long you can go without getting overtaken. It's that dreaded just stare at estimated laps remaining on your fuel tank.
Well, they're still battling back here for P8 and 9, Seifert and Miranda. Shane Coogan back to 10th. Don't see that very often. He's either letting the race come to him, or he's looking for some fuel mileage. We shall see. Right behind him, Matt Houston, then J.J. Wang, then Dakota DeMay. Wang now up 8 spots, working his way up to P12. We got 3 out of these 4 cars here are Race First sponsored. Let's take a look at some last laps by what do we got for speeds. 211 for Miller, 211 for White, 211 for Hill, 210 for Johnson, 210 for Bency. Sanders 209, Seifert 209, Coogan 208. So we are correctly watching him as he's slower than the remaining cars in the top 10. That time a 209 that time by. Don't know if he is, again, trying to save those tires to get to the end of this run, trying to get a few more laps out of this tank, but we are probably about 7 to 10 laps away from pit stops.
Let's see, the gap between Miller and White for between first and second is currently
1.2,
a little over second. Yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah, last time by, Miller a 24.8, White a 25 flat. Got some passing back here in the back half of the top 10. In fact, Dakota DeMay has worked his way around the high side of the boss man, Matt Houston. I'll see how wide Matt makes his car for JJ here. Again, no teams here in the RIL, but there are teams working with each other. There is no team championship, but there are teams working with each other. Justin Miller at the front here, and he is getting ready. He has a 1.7 second lead now, and he is getting ready to encounter Christopher Kresge, the admin here of the RIL, as a lap traffic. And Kresge, he is on the lead lap, and just kind of at the tail end of it at the moment. And that's going to impact Justin Miller. I don't know, maybe Justin might want to think about pitting early? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's an option. It's an option you can do here, yeah.
Like, he has margins to the field. Staying behind the lap car, the dirty air will give Drew White a chance to close the gap. And do you want to waste that track space?
Let's take a look here on the in-car of Justin Miller. We see him down the 4th gear on the exit of turn 4. He is well within the draft. In fact, he's up to 6th gear, so that means he is in the draft passing gear, looking to the high side. Gonna go inside of Christopher Kresge. 5th gear. Does not go to 4th gear this time, but he does pull off the pass. That that puts down Christopher Kresge a lap down. Right now, 18 cars on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap is Aaron Moss. And who is making a stop for pit road right now? Aaron Moss started 33rd. He is up 15 spots.
Also, yep, Miller and White both coming in.
And interesting, Christopher Kresge also coming in for this lap. So I guess maybe if Miller would have known that, he probably would have made a hard move to make a pass there. But he's in, nevertheless, and he is looking for his stall way down at the end here. Coming in and assuming the lead right now is Christopher Hill. And Justin Miller down and away. And he is so close to the end. He's just off the button already, coming up to speed. And he does have that lap car between himself and his Drew White. Drew White is on pit road with a long stop. And this is a speeder. So Drew White's day is done with speeding on pit road, unfortunately. And that is going to allow Justin Miller to really put a big it's going to really allow Justin Miller to extend his lead because Justin Miller had a pretty good pit stop, although 9.3 in the box, a little bit longer than normal, but I was making sure that that car is all the way full. So unfortunately, Drew White penalized. Back up front, Nicholas Johnson has now assumed the lead, as he is now 54 laps into his current stint. Nick Isidro right behind him, getting the maximum effort of mileage, as we like to say. 54 laps as well. Both of these guys making the turn on the pit road, as well as Bruno Miranda. Shane Coogan. Shane Coogan's coming in as well. JJ Wang. We got Matt Houston coming in. Matt Houston's going to stay out and assume the lead. He's going to try to go 55 laps on this current stint. Josh Tucker trying to extend the lead on his 54th lap. He is now pitting. So Matt Houston is in a position that if this thing goes yellow, he's got himself a major advantage.
Now, I should note that at the moment, being on new tires will get you an 8/10 advantage per lap at the moment.
Matt Houston in. That turns the lead now over to, well, Shane Coogan is going to get the lead coming out, but he is going to get passed on the racetrack by Justin Miller. I think. Hold on. Timing of scoring is kind of a little slow at the moment right now. Showing Justin Miller, Matt Houston was the leader. He's getting passed on. So Justin Miller now passes, gets the lead back, and he has a 5-second lead over Caleb Bency. So he did extend his lead quite a bit.
Yeah. It was that sort of in Formula One, they would say the undercut, where you just get on the new, fresher tire earlier than everyone else, and you put in that couple lap advantage in early.
So, let's see what we got now for strategy. Justin Miller stopped 6 laps ago, so we're at 85 minus 6. So he's came in on 79. So if we add the 50, he's going to be 3 laps short.
Oh.
He's going to be actually 4 laps short. Lap 1, he should be pitting around lap 129. But he's got 5 seconds. Can he clutch and coast and save some of that fuel?
Oh, it's possible. If he gets behind a lap car at some points, it's definitely possible. Though I think the big saving grace it would be if there were to be a caution, then he would definitely make it.
Caleb Bency pitted. This is lap 87, so he's on his 5th lap of the stint. So he pitted on lap 82. And if you add 50 to about what they can do here, he's at lap 132. He might be a little short.
Yes, but that's you definitely say that.
That's a lot easier to do one lap than so really the guy that might be It actually could be Matt Houston. It really could. I'm saying the guys that pitted about within the last 5 laps or so. So Isidro, Miranda, Coogan, Wang, Johnston, Tucker, Houston, those guys, I think they have a better chance at making it to the end than really the rest of our leaders do. We shall see, as we've been clean and green since that caution right at about lap 27.
And you say that.
and doth the gods deliver a caution? And I'm not sure who crashed.
It looks like it was Tommy Cook in car 200.
All right, so we'll take a look at green car. All right, let's take a look here. What happened to Mr. Cook? Currently back in 23rd position.
Looks like someone was first.
Oh, and okay, so Jonathan Liberatore. If we can pick it back up here. Jonathan Liberatore exit a corner, gets low, hits the apron, hits the inside wall. Oh, Christopher Kresge. Oh my gosh. And it's a netcode collision for Tommy Cook, unfortunately. But Jonathan Liberatore hits the inside wall. Day done for him. Takes out Tommy Cook, unfortunately. So now, what do you do? It's like the pop quiz in Speed. What do you do? What do you do? And I think we've already had a decision here. Is Justin Miller is now on pit road, so he is going to go for new tires, top off the tank, and he's got to hope that he can race to the front and see some of those other folks in front of him give up track position as they have to pit. So it's a long day is turned into a longer night here now for Justin Miller, but I don't think I have no reason to think that he can't do it with the way that he's performed.
Yeah, especially on a fresh set of tires. He could easily, with the speed he's shown, he could make his way up to, say, the top 5. From there to the lead, that's another question.
Right. Once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching Race Wars coverage of round 1 of the RIL Schaeffer's IndyCar Series, coming to you from Kentucky Speedway, where Caleb Bency is currently your leader after 91 laps. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next RIL race. Interesting finish that we're looking at right here. Some guys are going to be close on fuel, while others, such as Miller, who is in 14th spot with new tires, is not going to have that worry. As well as Johnston right behind him. And I'm not sure what happened to Johnston on pit road. Someone's just coming on the pit road right in front of him. I'm not sure who that is.
Let me see. A number of cars are coming down pit road now. It's Moss, Morera.
Yeah, Morera has a way of just bringing a car home, and all of a sudden you look and he's past double digits. It's always he's been a teammate of mine, and I always wonder, like, I struggle, and then I look up, and at the end of the day, Morera's got 12 spots gained, and he's like, I didn't do anything. So let's take a look. Let's kind of reset everything here. Let's get, there we go. Ticker back up. Bency, Sanders, Hill, Schaeffer, Isidro, Miranda, Coogan, Cosgrove, DeMade, Wang, Houston, Herman. Now, this is where everyone stopped. Miller, Johnston, Tucker, Moss, Morera, Kresge. All those cars are on the lead lap, so they do not have to stop again. Interesting enough.
And earlier we ran down when the cars stopped. The cars who stayed out this caution, who were, say, marginal on fuel, maybe 1-2 laps short, they should be fine. Though the overarching issue is how well will their tires be during the final lap?
Yeah, the fuel tank's going to last a lot longer than the tires. Let's put it that way. This is going to be interesting. I really like the dual strategies going on, and I like people's chances here that normally we don't see at the chance to pull off a win or at least a good finish. Are now in position if the cards fall right for them. They made themselves a legit gamble. Lights are out on the pace car. We are getting ready to go back to green as they are lining up on the backstretch. Field will be under the control of the defending champion, 3-time and defending champion Caleb Benzie. Right behind him, his championship rival from last season and kind of a teammate, Gavin Sanders. Right behind him, Christopher Hill. Man, he's gotten really good on these ovals as of late. He's in P3. Nate Seifert. He's been really good on the ovals. Of course, we've seen him in the FIS on the road courses. He's an ace there, a former champion there, P4. Nick Isidro, he's a former winner here in the RIL. He's sitting there in P5, and we're getting ready to go green. How long does Caleb wait? Not long at all, and actually, he puts himself a bit of a bubble between himself and Gavin Sanders.
Oh no. So, restart drama. Justin Miller got black flagged for overtaking.
Oh, no. Let's go back and take a look here real quick. Oh. Okay, so let's see. Who did he pass on before the green? He's on the...
There was a car loitering on the inside.
But he passed him on the right side. Interesting.
No. You're not allowed to overtake at all before the green flag is shown.
Oh, he passed before the green flag. Oh, gosh. And so here he is. He made a stop, and he is, unfortunately, his day is done. So now the guy we want to watch is Nicholas Johnston. Nicholas Johnston is back here in 13th, and he is now lining up Hayden Herman, who's had a very quiet race. He's in also Team Purple car with the Fawn and Fanny sponsorship on the side there with Caleb Benzie. And he's looking to line him up. But Hayden Herman, a very solid top 15 run. And we got some cars that are a lap down also that are in this group that are going to be extremely fast, such as Drew White. He's in P18 a lap down, but he's intermixed in with this group.
Yep, if you're a lap down, obviously due to the lucky dog in this rule, you want to be the first car a lap down.
Right.
And, conserve those tires. You don't know. Caution comes out. You get back on the lead lap. You have a chance to really gain a lot of positions really quickly.
Cosgrove. Battle for the top 10 here. 9th spot. Down low on the boss man through the tri-oval. He is hugging that yellow line. He is able to get around him here. Man, with the new tires, hanging tough up top. What he really needs is Dakota to kind of pop up high and give him that draft. And not give him the aero wash going into the corner.
That's one of the tricks that I like to do on new tires. I've heard it on, say, Formula E broadcasts and in person once or twice from Dario Franchitti, where he says that you put a lot less stress on the tire by just staying half a lane, maybe even an entire lane up off the bottom.
Yep. You're right. Let's give a shout out to Isidro here. He's worked his way up to 4th. He has the purple lap now at a 24.382. Want to know what that translates to? Here you go. 2:15.597. So no one's cracked 2:16 yet here on the mile-and-a-half oval down in Kentucky, just outside of Cincinnati. But we are solidly into the 2:15.5s here for race laps. Tommy Cook with the apology there in chat. I don't think you got much to worry about there, Tommy. I think he just kind of came up into you, and that's a racing thing, man.
Yeah, like once you lose a wheel on these cars, you're pretty much in a sled. Well,
and especially once you hit that inside wall, and as fast as you are, you really become a pinball. Bing, 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 bing,
yep.
bing, bing. Yep, it's all over the place. Wow, look at this group here: Sanders, Bensi, Seifert, Isidro. I mean, it's like they're lining up for the formation lap.
Oh yeah, and this definitely unfortunately, Justin Miller isn't up here with them, but so far these guys definitely cream of the crop so far this race.
Yeah, let's give you a bit of an update here. Sanders up 8, Isidro up 11. Now up 10, actually. But Bensi's been here all day, so he's actually Bensi, the only one showing down the spot. Seifert up 21, Miranda up 6, Christopher Hill down 3, so he's been up here all day today. Working his way back into it as Shane Coogan, and he's leading the race first train right back into this battle. It's race first 7, 8, and 9 here with Coogan, DeMade, and Houston. Right here, as you see them through the tri-oval, trying to get back up to the front. Nicholas Johnson up to P10. JJ Wang just on the outside of the top 10. Great run for him today. Surviving in the green car. Whoa, 3 wide in the turns 1 and 2. Careful, fellas. It is about that time. Everybody's looking for clean air. Sidro side by side with Gavin Sanders. This is the battle for second. Sanders up high, gonna get the momentum. Looks like the high side for turns 1 and 2 is beginning to work, but he's also got the draft of a teammate helping him out down the backstretch. Isidro has the lit up a little bit. We got contact between 2 cars. Car in the wall. Car get contact. We got Seifert into the wall as a result from contact with Isidro. Christopher Hill did have damage. He's showing damage right now. He is into the wall. Day is done for Christopher Isidro, and I don't know if we're yellow or not. We are yellow. We are yellow on the racetrack. And looks like a collision, just a simple racing push-up collision here between Nicholas Isidro and Nate Seifert. Unfortunately, that's going to end a great day for Nate Seifert. Let's take a look at this battle right now one more time and see kind of what happened from the roll bar perspective of Nick Isidro. All right, here we go. Pick it back up, full speed. There is Gavin Sanders right there. Checks up just a little bit. Down the 4th gear. He is getting arrow push big time. All right, I'm going to let people at home chat. Give me your thoughts on that. Ryan, give me your thoughts on that one.
Like, looking back, it's just one of those issues where if you're on the inside, especially at this stage of the tire life, you're going up towards the outside wall if you keep your current speed. If someone's on the outside of you, you're given that option. Do you let them pass and live to fight another day, or do you just keep heading on that course and hopes the guy on the outside backs out?
My assessment is he kept his foot in it, and he was hoping the guy on the outside was going to roll out of it. Is that what you saw?
Same thing here. It's just that when two guys are heading towards the same piece of track, someone has to give way, and in my opinion, it should be the guy on the inside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it's a racing deal, it's a racing deal. My experience racing with Nate Seifert is I know that he's going to keep his foot in it. So if I have that knowledge going into the corner, I should probably use that defensively. And okay, he's going to keep his foot into it. Is it good for me to come up and door check him and put him in the wall and damage my car, or do I roll out of it, line up behind him, and save it for another lap? And that's, I think, a little bit of a case there. It'll be interesting to see what race control rules on that one for Isidro. Isidro moved down, did pit to probably get some damage taken a look at. Everybody pit for that matter. He is down to 8th, but Caleb Binsey, Isidro did not, is the only pit. He pitted just at the last lap. So to get damage taken care of. Dakota DeMaid pitted, Johnson pitted again, Wang pitted, Cosgrove pitted again, Tucker pitted again, Moss pitted again, Kresge pitted again. I think Drew White is going to get back on the lead lap, fellas. And
yes, he is back.
And there's time. There's time to do this still for him. That's going to be interesting to watch him try to drive to the front. He started up front, and as a result, a penalty sent him to the back. But the racing gods are going to give him another shot here with about 30 to go, or about 20 to go, excuse me.
Yeah, it's certainly, rubber to the road, so to speak, time of the race. Like, personally, I like to call the period between when a full tank will get into the end and the finish, the quote-unquote end game, where you want to be, you want to put yourself in the position where you're within a car length of the leader on heading across the line for the white flag. You want to be in that position. Do whatever it takes to get there.
And I'll just say this, P1, you're your defending champion, race first. P2, race first associate. P4, race first. P5, the race first principal. P6, race first associate. Dan Morea, well, his team works with race first in another league. I don't know if they're working together in this particular one. And then Dakota DeMaid back there in 9th, race first again. So this could be interesting. I'm not going to say team orders are going to come into play here, but teammates can play a role in this finish here with the number of race first and associated race versus cars that are up in the top 10 at the moment. The only other people up there to fight them is Bruno Miranda and that Yuko Solinger eSports car. Isidro, I believe he's an independent entry, and Nicholas Johnson, who is in Infinite Team Black there. So interesting how this thing's all going to shake out. And I do believe JJ Wang, well, at least in another league, was a teammate with Nicholas Johnson. They could be working with each other in this one, but that could be the only possibility to work their way up in the top 10 with some help. Everyone else is just is a fly in the race first ointment.
Feels like I'm broadcasting for Team Scandia.
Well, if we had more Team Watson cars in the lineup, I think we would have more of a Team Scandia comparison. Here we go, boys, and we are less than 20 to go. Caleb Binsey is your leader.
Oh, looks like we're off to a good start from our reigning champion.
We'll do one more side by side so we can get this out of the way, and then we will pick it up clean and green to the finish.
There's two types of drivers out there. Drivers who know how to protect their investment and drivers who don't. Car owners who know how to get more miles per gallon and owners who don't. We're talking people who know their Schaeffer and people who don't. Which one are you? From cars to trucks to diesel workhorses, whatever you drive, there's a Schaeffer synthetic oil for you. Do you know your Schaeffer? Ask for it at an automotive retailer near you.
We're back, and we will be commercial free to the end, as right now your leaders really are the guys that finished first and second in last year's championship. Once again, kind of doing a reset like this thing never came to an end. Here comes Gavin Sanders. He's got a head of steam on the outside. He's just going to sit there and I think bide his time. Your top 10, Bency, Sanders, Miranda is now P3. Shane Coogan is P4. Really, the battle is the way it is right now is going to be between Caleb Bency and Sanders. Miranda really needs to hope that these two start fighting for him to be able to reel these two back in, and I think he can do it. Coogan's P4, Matt Houston P5, Hayden Herman P6, Nicholas Isidro P7. Here's Matt Houston has put in a move on Coogan to the high side. He's got the position. Matt Houston now up to 4th. Drew White's moved his way up to 14th. There's Justin Miller. What could have been, unfortunately, but he's definitely showing his strength here. Long season to go. Definitely want to show the people that you should have belonged there, and I firmly believe that. We've seen better drivers do unforced errors before, Dixon. I've done it before. You've done it before. I'm sure it won't be the last time Justin's done it, but I'm sure Justin is probably kicking himself a little bit. Right now, Nicholas Johnson is P6, Hayden Herman P7, Isidro now P8, DeMade P9, Cosgrove now P10, as we have a whole host of cars. JJ Wang, something happened to JJ Wang.
Oh, Gavin's taking it side by side in the 3.
Something happened to Wang. He's off the pace. Now Gavin down low in the 3 and 4. He's going to pull it off. He will lead the lap.
Get clear.
He is clear there for sure. And we are coming to 10 to go very shortly. Here comes Caleb to the inside.
Watching and waiting and waiting and watching. Bruno Miranda is inching closer and closer in 3rd. Oh, we got a yellow.
Oh, not sure what happened. What happened? Was it? I don't know what happened.
Scrubbing through the footage, I did see car off somewhere.
Christopher Hill. No, Christopher Hill was involved in an earlier.
Drew White.
Drew White. Okay, let's take a look here. Drew White here. Go back in time here. See what happened. Oh, okay. So he is racing with Dan Marrera there in the 40 Racewear car. He is down low. Dan is right in the middle of the racetrack there. Racing deal.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh. Again, I'm sure he's racing a little frustrated. Been there.
Yeah, you've been there, especially like we talked about it earlier with the other incident. Like in a position where the outside car's ahead, maybe like. He had the room so late in the corner, it just misjudged the distance between cars and just bang wheels.
And that is going to put Justin Miller back on the lead lap.
Oh.
I don't know if he's going to have enough time, but he's back on the lead lap. 8 to go. There goes Justin Miller getting the wave around. So he's back on the lead lap. So interesting. Okay, so when the caution came out, Caleb Benzie does held the lead. He is your leader. Gavin Sanders is P2. Bruno Miranda P3. Matt Houston P4. Nicholas Johnson P5. Hayden Herman, like I said, a great run for Hayden, P6 now. Last time I saw him, say great run for Hayden, P12. Well, he's doubled that. He's now up in the middle of the top 10. He's well within the battle. Dakota DeMade, P7. Isidro, P8. Cosgrove, P9. Marrera, hopefully he's not too damaged, but he is currently holding down the 10th spot. And let's not get out of this without giving a shout out to Aaron Moss. There he is. Aaron Moss, 11th spot. Started shotgun in the field. He is up 22 spots. Him and Marrera have gained the most this race, along with Cosgrove. Cosgrove is up 21 spots. So watch this group of 3 from 9th, 10th, and 11th try to work their way up, because they have the moves. Do they have the time to make up those positions?
Oh, it is... The lap counter is ticking away, and, well, obviously, we don't have overtime in IndyCar, no green, white checkers. So every time you see the amount of laps tick over, you're waiting for the lights on the pace car to turn off, because you need every single mile you can get.
Right. And there's no red flags here, folks. No red flags. This is real IndyCar racing. Red flag. Jeez. Let's see. Check out chat here. Nate the Great got killed. I hear you, Nate. Look, we have half the country of Brazil in chat here rooting for Bruno Miranda. Rightfully so, as he is well within reach of this win. He's got the bottom step of the podium, but I know the man wants more here as the RIL and the Schaeffer's IndyCar Series kicks off round 1 of their 5th season, the summer 2022 season. I'll tell you what, if you meet the minimum requirements and everything, you like what you see, you think you have the speed to become part of the fastest 33 every single week, check out the RIL on iRacing, and you too can be a part of the action. So make sure you join the Discord, read the rules, make sure you meet the minimum requirements. And you two could be here next week. Next week, Barber Motorsports Park.
Oh, I love that road course outside of Birmingham.
It's like halfway to... if I remember on the map, it's not that far away from Talladega, if I remember right. It's like halfway between... It's like halfway between Birmingham and Talladega.
Yeah, pretty much. It's on the way there.
Yeah. So we are lights out on the pace car. We'll pop up here on Caleb's roll bar. Caleb is actually in 4th place in the Lionheart IndyCar Series at the moment, by the power of a couple of top 10 finishes, and he's been doing real good. I've been working with him, part of that team. And I can only tell you what a win's going to do to him. Probably is going to light him on fire. So look out, everybody. If he gets this win, he might go on a run. We're getting ready to go green. Now, we're going to go green. 6 to go now. He'll go with 5 to go when they cross the line. Does he wait? Does he go early and allow Gavin to go for the draft? We shall see. Bruno is lagging back. Bruno is lagging back. Ooh, Johnson almost into the back end of Houston. They almost buckled up there. Dakota on the outside of Hayden Herman.
Yeah, if you want to make a move, you gotta do it now.
Matt Houston right now in a battle with Johnston. 3 wide, using the apron. Isidro, and Isidro spinning.
No.
He's spun on the apron. I don't think there's going to be a caution here. There's going to be no caution, but he's going to lose a ton of position. And that's what happens when you use the apron. And here comes Gavin Sanders to the bottom of the racetrack, to the lead out of turns 3 and 4.
Nope. 3 laps to go.
Johnston underneath Matt Houston for the position. Johnston now up to 4th. Can Johnston reel in Miranda? Johnston with the, let's call it the Johnston fade down the backstretch. Bincy to the inside. By a nose at the line. 2 to go. Who has the life left in the tires? Here's Dakota on the outside of Matt. We'll keep it here on the lead, though. Oh, wow. Gavin with not a very good turn 3 and 4. Now Gavin's got to defend against Bruno Miranda. Final lap, white flag. Cleanly turns 1 and 2 to the inside, back to the wall. Here comes Gavin. Gavin does have enough head of steam. Is he gonna? Nah, I don't think he's got to get the arrow push. And as much as I wanted to call an exciting finish there, and it's still an exciting finish, Caleb strategically and defensively uses his tools and secures the win. The defending champion starts off the next season, well, really where he left off last season.
Oh, it's going to be a fun year.
And let's take a look. Gavin Sanders set the purple lap with a 24.257 there towards the end. But Caleb Bincy is your winner, followed by Gavin Sanders. Bruno Miranda, P3, great run for him. Nicholas Johnson, great run for him. Johnson, if Johnson has another season like he did last season and just improves, he's going to look at finishes like this as the reason why he's in the championship hunt. It's just coming deep from the field, earning every position, being patient. Dakota DeMade, P5. Matt Houston there coming into the pits there, P6. A very solid top 10 to kick off the season. Matt Cosgrove, a great top 10 for him. Hayden Herman, a great top 10 for him. Dan Marrera in the 4D Racewear car finishes 9th. And Aaron Moss up 23 spots. Him, Cosgrove, and Marrera each up 23 spots. He started 33rd, but he finished in the top 10. Woo. Well, let's go ahead and get a real quick word from our sponsors, and let's see who's on the interview room. Also, nobody yet. We'll wait for someone to get into the interview room. And I don't know if we'll have Bruno will be in the last time we had him, he just sent us a note. So I'll see if he'll send us a note here or not. English is not his first language. Then again, Brazilian is not my first language. Actually, Portuguese is not my first language. So I don't blame him if I was in his shoes, and see if he sends a note. But we'll take a real quick break for Schaeffer's, and then we will be right back. If I can find the Schaeffer's.
Ever since I've switched to Schaeffer's oil, I've never had a reason to even try anything else. And that's one thing that I'm proud about, is the fact that I can't tell you how good something else is, because I know how good Schaeffer's oil is. My engine builders, Tony and Glenn Clements, have said about the oil we run. They've told us that out of all the motors that they get and rebuild every year, ours looks the best, and a lot of that has to do with the oil that we run. One of the things that I love about Schaeffer's oil is the fact that all of their reps are out in the field and at the racetracks with us, seeing what all the racers need, seeing what ideas we have or anything that we can improve on. And you just can't beat the customer service of having a rep for, one of the main components of our race team, whether it's at our engine oil, transmission fluid, rear end oil, having somebody there that represents that brand and also gives us some support and also the knowledge that we need to be making the right calls and just helping us out with our entire racing program. It means a lot to our race team to have that. My name's Chris Ferguson, and I drive the number 22 dirt late model. I've been using Schaeffer's oil racing products since 2009. I absolutely have no doubt that we're using the best products that is possible for dirt late model racing.
Okay, and we're back, and up in the booth is with us is Gavin Sanders to finish second. You were never really out of the sight of the front all day long, other than you probably didn't qualify as well as you wanted to. Talk about working your way up through the pack, and then what it was like when you finally got up to the front.
Yeah, the undercut was super powerful, so just making good use of that over the course of the pit stop window when we did get a green flag stop was a big kind of portion of my track position gained, which by the time the caution cycled around and everything like that, we got up into the top three. The qualifying wasn't ideal, but dealing with the dirty air and everything, I think people were coming off with less than 20% or so left on their right fronts and stuff. So dealing with that was a bit challenging, but I think the cautions were just correctly separated enough to string everybody out and not let the old tires versus the new tires start to cross over, and kept us up there. So yeah, overall not a bad start, that's for sure.
Yeah, Gavin, quick question from Ryan here. What did you feel was the best tactic dealing with the dirty air in moving up the field? Besides, you mentioned the undercut, but it seemed like a handful of you guys were able to really make up positions through the field.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to kind of understanding the bars and weight jacker and the balance of it all. I think the goal was kind of to try and burn off the right rear a little bit sooner than the right front, and if you were able to do that, I didn't do a great job of it in the first stint, just with how much dirty air there was, and I wasn't really expecting that much wear, but the second and third stints, I didn't do it as bad a job in terms of sliding the right rear a little bit more than the right front and just preserving it a little bit longer. And that was a big thing, just kind of less having to navigate the actual air and more navigating the guys who just burnt their stuff off. It makes it a little bit easier, a bit more of a free position, so to speak. So that was kind of key as well, just with how much tire wear. And then obviously the undercut grabbed me. I don't even know what it was. It was like 5 or 6 spots. So it was it was a very interesting strategical race.
You know the drill. Shout out to anyone to say hi to.
Definitely big shout out to Team Raceverse, Sunset Arctic Graphics, buy EchoBlade on Steam, buy EchoBlade on Steam, buy EchoBlade on Steam.
All right,
and that's all. Yeah.
Anything else?
Thank you.
All right, you got it, man. Well, congratulations. I guess you're starting the season where you finished it in P2, so long season, going to Barber next, and we know you love the road courses, so we will see you in a week at Barber.
Sounds like a plan. Take care, guys.
See ya.
See ya.
There is Bruno. Let's bring up Bruno. There he is. Let's go ahead and bring up Bruno. Hello, Bruno. This is Gary and Ryan. I know English isn't your first language, so we'll go slow. Just tell us how your race was and what was it like for you?
Oh, hi. Thank you very much. So I don't speak so more English, but can Octavio translate for me my messages in Portuguese and traduce for you in English? Octavio is in Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get Octavio in
Let's
here
bring
as
up.
well.
Let's bring up. Okay. Hey, Octavio. We'll bring you up to help translate for Bruno. Go ahead.
Eu queria agradecer muito a equipe, foi uma corrida muito difícil e assim, com muitos inscritos no campeonato, então eu acho que foi um ótimo resultado para nós e queria muito agradecer a toda a equipe Runcos, o Octávio que está aqui hoje, que nos ajudou muito aqui na questão dos spotters. Desculpa eu estar um pouco nervoso, mas a corrida foi muito bacana e correr do lado dessa galera que sempre é muito forte, Caleb, o Gavin, eles estão de parabéns pela corrida que eles fizeram, fora o Nicholas Johnson que estava atrás, o Josh Gono. Foi uma corrida muito bacana mesmo. Queria agradecer a todos aí, mandar um abraço para todos que torceram por mim aí. Desculpa não falar em inglês, mas eu estou tentando aprender um pouquinho. Muito obrigado a todos. Valeu.
He want to say thanks to everybody. Thanks for the transmission. He's very nervous, but that was a great result for him. And he's so exciting for continue with the championship, and he is very thankful for everybody, the league, their rivals, and for the broadcast for the great job, and he's really excited for continue with this league.
Well, we want to thank him for being a part of it. What was the most challenging thing for him today, working his way up to the front?
¿Qué fue lo que más te desafió, Bruno, hoy?
Sim, hoje a questão dos carros, o tráfego estava muito difícil, estava muito próximo e estava bem complicado. Eu estava com medo de questão de conexão, netcode, assim, então foi uma corrida com muita calma, teve que fazer com muita calma, com muito cuidado, né? E foi um grande resultado esse terceiro lugar.
He was afraid for the connection and for the traffic. This is a difficult track to overtake, and managing the traffic is the key here, and he was nervous with it, but it's great for him.
Yeah, it must be universal, the word traffic, because I heard trafficos. I'm like, yeah, I could see how the traffic would play a role. Anybody you'd like to say hello to, shout out to sponsors, anything like that?
¿Quería agradecerle a alguien, Bruno?
Sim, queria muito agradecer a Schaeffer por tudo, pelo patrocínio, pelo campeonato. Está muito bueno. Queria agradecer a todos mais uma vez pela transmissão, ao Christopher pela administração, pela organização e mais uma vez a Schaeffer pela organização desse campeonato.
He wants to say thanks to all the team, Junco Racing Esports, for the organization, Christopher, and to everybody and the sponsor of the league for being it possible.
Well, congratulations, and thanks for being a part of it. Congratulations again on the P3, and we will see you, hopefully, at Barber Motorsports Park next week. Until then, have yourself a great week, and I'm sure we will talk later.
Yes, thank you, Bruno. Obrigado. Great driving out there today.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, Gary. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Octavio.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move those guys down to waiting for the interview. All right, and now let's go ahead and bring in our winner, Caleb Bency here. Hey, Caleb, thanks for waiting. We had a translator actually help out on that last one, so no translation for you. It's like second verse is same as the first. You left last season as the winner and the P1 in the championship. You start this season as a winner and P1 in the championship. Although today's travel was not probably as easy as you wanted, but what is the difference between clean air and dirty air at the front? I mean, how big is that?
Pretty big. It was one of those things where like top three could do something, and then I mean you could make something work from fourth or fifth on back, but it just took a lot. Just wasn't willing to kill the tires. But Yeah, no, it was definitely an interesting race. The driving was quite interesting, so I was just letting people go. Just gonna let them wreck each other.
Yeah, because it seemed like you were the only driver to be at the front the entire race distance. We saw a bunch of guys come and go, but you were always a presence.
That was the goal, because by the way some of them were driving, it didn't look like they're gonna make it all the way. So I just kind of let them do their thing, try to hang back, save fuel, stay close, and ultimately it ended up cycling exactly how I was hoping it would, and then just kind of position himself well for the last run there. And I mean, I trust Gavin a ton. I love racing with him, and we both knew what needed to be done or where you wanted to be on that last lap, and he got me in that respect. So I had to do something and was able to give him a little bit of dirty air in 3 and 4 coming to white flag, and couldn't quite get it back. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun racing with him, and obviously you can race hard, race fair, race clean, and yeah, it was definitely a good way to start the year though.
Something we talked about earlier in the week, different car. Now you won with it. Do we expand to other series with the new car?
I don't know.
No? Well, go ahead and tell us about the new car, because I believe it involves a new campaign or a new product with your sponsor.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I thought.
Well, no, I'm thinking, maybe if you win here, if you move it to another series, you might win
yeah,
too.
I thought. Yeah, okay, fair. I thought you were talking about like the aero updates or something. Like,
no, not the aero updates. I'm talking about the paint job and everything. But but first of all, let's talk about you were telling me that there's a new product and a new campaign with Fawn and Fanny, and that's why you got the purple car.
Yeah, so me and Hayden, you can see on the broadcast, got the purple Fawn and Fanny cars. It's for summer.
Hayden had a great day too.
He did. Very happy for him. First race back in a very long time, so that was cool. But yeah, purple for the summer sense. You can check it out online at fawnandfanny.com. Obviously, anything from lotions, hand soap, anything you can imagine for body care. Got a lot of cool summer scents now on fawnandfanny.com. You can use the code 20TEAMRACEFIRST for 20% off. Please check that out if you haven't yet. It's a small business, obviously, very, very much appreciated. So, obviously, thanks to you guys for putting on a great broadcast. Grandparents have already been texting me and some family come in, so
yeah, it was a little rough at the first part of it, but then again, I think even the admin started off a little rough with the race as well. So I'm like,
I came off of turn 4 with the car sitting right on the start finish line. And
what's that like?
Well, that's how I lost the lead at the start. I completely lifted because I'm like, I'm not gonna pile drive in here and hope he just resets or something. So that was quite terrifying, but yeah, survived. Like I said, just settled in, let everyone just do what they wanted to do, and was there at the end, and good way to start the season.
Any questions, Ryan?
No, got mine in early.
All right, well, you know how this works. Shout outs, anyone want to say hi to, that type of thing?
Yeah, obviously Fawn and Fanny again, please go check them out, fawnandfanny.com. Thanks to you guys. Shout out to all the family and friends, as always, who are watching. So I definitely appreciate your support. And yeah, unfortunately won't be here next week. Me or Hayden won't. We'll be actually in Florida. So we'll be taking that drop week early. So hopefully it's going to be a little bit to our next race, but hopefully we can keep this momentum going.
All right, well, there you go. Caleb starting the campaign for that's a drive for 5. What is it for 4? The
drive for 4.
Drive for 4. Okay.
The fight for 4.
Fight for 4. Okay.
Fight for 4. I like that.
Fight for 4 begins tonight. P1 here at Kentucky. Congratulations, and we will see you in 2 weeks at the Rock.
Yes, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
All right, bye.
Yep. Congratulations.
Wow. So. Your thoughts on tonight before we kind of wrap it up here, and then we start setting things up for 200 mile per hour down to turn a little left and right on the road course at Barber Motorsports Park here next week.
Yeah, it's definitely the road race at Barber is going to be a fun little bit of respite before we head over to the Rock and we get Ben C. Sanders too.
All right, well, here are your final results for tonight before we get on out of here. Caleb Bency gets the win. Gavin Sanders, P2. Bruno Miranda with a great P3. Nicholas Johnson drove it like he stole it, P4. Dakota the Med, I'm sure he's going to be very happy with that P5. Matt Houston, I'm pretty sure he's going to be happy with that P6. Matt Cosgrove, great run, P7. Hayden Herman, P8. Dan Marrero, great run, P9. Aaron Moss, another great run, or another car with a great run there, P10. Drew White, probably a little disappointed after today, but hey, there's more ovals coming up. I'm sure we'll see more of him later in the season. Shane Coogan, not his day really, but there's other tracks coming up on the schedule that we will see him probably have a day at, such as Pocono. He is the Pocono Whisperer. JJ Wang, the green car, finishes 13th. I don't know how he does it, but he has a great finish there. Something happened at the end, but still he was able to hold on and get the top 15. Christopher Kresge 14th, Joshua Tucker in 15th. Oh, we got a whole other page here. Justin Miller probably kicking himself a little bit. Man, I've been there. I understand what it's like. Dan Neese, Nick Isidro, he's probably kicking himself for hitting that apron there a little bit. Christian Jasper, Lucas Santos, Christopher Hill 21st, Nate Seifert 22nd. He's got a long way to go, or this might be the drop race for him. We'll see. Jonathan Liebertor 23rd, Tommy Cook 24th, Dan Miglin 25th. He was kind of up at the front all day today, and I think he might have burnt out his tires. I'll talk to him personally to find out what's going on, but tough day for him. Logan Spath, 26th. Ryan Freeman, 27th. Hunter Ingram, 28th. Keegan Scott, 29th. And Will Weisbrod, the 3rd. That's right, World War III. We get him here in the 30th position. Next page, James Watson, Matt Webb, and Christopher Albee round out the 33 car field. I don't know what 33 cars are going to be like at Barber Motorsports Park. Do they even have 33 pits? I don't know. We'll find out.
I'm not sure.
We'll find out. But I think that's it. And let's give everyone back their Wednesday nights here, because I know what you're going to do after this is done. I know what I'm going to do, because we got a battle royal to watch, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, big one.
Let me see if I can find tonight's outro. There it is. Let's get on out of here. Let's get the music. So, hey, like I said, that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium from Kentucky is Caleb Bency, Gavin Sanders, and Bruno Miranda. Join Race First again next Wednesday, as we'll be coming to you from Barber Motorsports Park and the Grand Prix of Alabama for round 2 of the Revolution IndyCar League's Schaeffer's IndyCar Series. That's next Wednesday night, roughly around 7:15 Eastern, or 7:45 Eastern time, right here on YouTube at youtube.com/racefirst. So now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm name is not an easy one, so please help support Race First with the weekly grind and leave a comment below. Let us know if it's tonight's race. And if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing a like in the video, just like this. If you're new, click subscribe, just like this. And while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out on more Race First iRacing programming, including our weekly Monday night Indy Fixed Top Splits coverage, our Tuesday coverage of the Race First Formula Indy Series starting in July, and on NTT IndyCar Series race weekends, our Friday coverage of the IndyCar iRacing Series Top Split. Hit the bell will guarantee that you always are getting the correct day and time in your area. We know, keep your browser set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge on all of iRacing. Race First, we know what Indy means. Hey, Bluegrass 200 race sponsorship paid for by Heinekamp Financial Planning and Tax Service. Heinekamp is a family-run Indiana-based business that offers a full range of financial planning and tax services, including investment planning, tax preparation, retirement planning, insurance planning, and estate planning. Additionally, they offer a full slate of small business services as well. For more information, visit Heinekamp Financial or click on their link in the broadcast in the description below. Revolution IndyCar League Schaeffer's IndyCar Series paid for by Schaeffer Oil. Racing's in their blood is what they love. At Schaeffer's, their racing products help racing teams spend less resources on racing parts and changing fluids and more time on the track. And who doesn't want more of that? Check out SchaefferOil.com, where you can search for the nearest retailer today, or click on their link in the broadcast description below. For business inquiries and learn more about RaceFirst and what we do, visit racefirst.com or follow us on Twitter. You can follow all of us on Twitter with our, let's see, right here. Here's a couple of us. So for Ryan Eric King, everyone at Race First, I'm Gary Gonzalez saying all. Thanks for watching, and to all the men and women serving in the military and as first responders. Godspeed. God bless. Come home safe. Thanks again. Catch us next week at Barber's Motorsports Park for the next race of the Revolution Indy League's Schaeffer's IndyCar Series. Good night.